Welcome to the big picture. It is time to get into it, y'all. It is craziness that's happening all over the world. The world is shook. Donald Trump is the 47th president of the United States of America. Many of you watched it with us live here just 6 days ago in our 8-hour marathon. Well, tonight we're going to go even deeper in what does it mean and why is Putin and Zelensky and all of them scared to death. Big Picture Live. Share this thing. Let's go. All right, welcome into the Big Picture. Of course, I'm your host, Larry Ragland. I will be joined shortly with the Queen. Sandy Ragland will be in the house. You know, we like to do our housekeeping up front right now. If you have not, smash that like button. Oh, wait a minute, wrong thing right there. What is the problem? What is the problem? Smash the like button. Smash it. You know the drill. You know the thing. We are all created equal in the. You know the thing. Oh, yeah. Smash that like button because it helps us more than anything else you can do to help us. And, of course, right along, almost equal with that, is subscribing to our channel. We are only tonight on YouTube, Rumble, and X. That's it. We're not on Facebook. So those that are looking on Facebook, sorry, you're not hearing anything I'm saying. I've tried to warn you. This is where we are. And we also want to take a time to just thank our partners. We don't do that enough, and I apologize for that. I just want to go ahead and throw this up here and say thank you to all of our partners that have blessed us so greatly to be able to be in the studio that we're in right now. We are adding to it. If you watch my video that I did last night, I want to go ahead and just rehash real quick. I'm going to make it very, very, very quick. Why you did not hear from me for several days, because I know you guys are accustomed to anything that breaks. You're looking, what is Pastor Larry going to say about this? What is Larry going to say about this? Well, I did have a little mishap. We had our 8-hour show here on election night. The next day, I had a very minor scheduled procedure that was planned, and the devil just came after me, y'all. He didn't like what we were doing, I guess, in here, and I've got used to that. And I had a major complication as a result of that minor thing, and I was put in the hospital. And I was in the hospital for several days, got out of the hospital late Saturday. So when you didn't see from me, that's what happened. That's why we didn't have the Thursday night show. I had pre-uploaded a show for Wednesday night, so I was out of pocket. But I'm feeling great. Thank you for your prayers. I'm back. I'm wide open, y'all. This is a great day to be alive, a great time to be alive. And just want to let you know, thank you for your prayers and all your support that you do for us here. As I said, Sandy will be joining us in just a moment. And, we just want to remind you a couple of things that we have not talked about a lot lately. One is, to my Telegram family, I want to say to you that I know that we have been neglecting Telegram. A lot of stuff has been going on in our life. Make sure that you go to our website, LarryRagland.com or LarryRagland.tv, and you'll see all of our social media links there at Larry. Let me just show you what you'll see when you go to LarryRagland.com. Let's see if I can pull that up here. When you go to LarryRagland.com, you will see right at the very top there. Know where they're at. There they are. You'll see my latest highlighted video, and right up underneath it, you'll see the social media links there where you can directly connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, and then there's Telegram. And of course, this is the one-stop shop for you to go to get all of your previous videos. You can get a copy of our book. Many of you watched the testimony that we showed Wednesday night, all the shows that I did telling my testimony, and you had not seen that or heard that and expressed an interest of wanting to get a copy of our book. You can do that by going to LarryRagland.com. You can actually become a partner with us there. You can read our blogs that we've done on the Epoch Times, and, of course, get the merchandise there. Join our mailing list and contact us. Do so many different things there on our website. So that's what I wanted to let you know. So we're getting ready to bring the Queen in just a moment, and she will let me know when she is ready. Are you ready, babe? All right, let's do this thing.
Unmute me.
Ladies and gentlemen. Hang on, I can bring you in first. There you go. There she is.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here because Been babysitting those grandkids
Oh,
all day.
yeah, that
and
was a blessing.
I am sad to say that a 1-year-old has kicked my butt all day long.
Yes, she has.
Never fear, though. I'm going to be conditioning, and I'm going to be ready for you the next time, okay?
I never thought I'd hear you say you got to get in shape for your grandbabies.
It's all of this past year, okay, with my knee being sedentary. I'm just I never was in shape, but I don't have the endurance I once did.
Yeah. Well,
But that's going to change.
But that's part of being in our glorious 50s.
Absolutely.
The wonderful 50s.
I am loving and enjoying it, but it did take a little bit of recovery. Make sure my little I voted sticker is still on there.
Okay.
Heard you talking.
Mine fell off.
I know.
There it is.
So I heard you talking about this past week.
Oh, was that crazy?
My goodness. Can we just slow down a little bit?
Well, I was telling them before you came in here about what happened to me.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, everybody's been telling me, Larry, you've got to slow down. You've got to slow down. And I'm just not one that's going to slow down. And I guess God just said, well, hey, watch this.
Joke's on you, buddy.
Let me show you who's in
really
charge.
You are going
slow
to
down. so he slowed me down, and I had to do what he told me to say, what to do. But
yeah.
So here we are, Sandy. It is, let's go ahead and honor tonight as we begin tonight. It is Veterans Day.
Yes,
and we
is.
want to honor our veterans here. We want to say thank you to everyone that's watching live and on the replay, wherever you're watching. If you have ever served in the military whatsoever, we salute you.
Absolutely.
And we say thank you for putting your life on the line. Thank you to all the Americans who have served this great nation. Veterans Day is an annual United States holiday honoring military veterans. A federal holiday, it is observed on November 11th and is also celebrated as Armistice Day or Remembrance Day in other parts of the world, falling on November 11th, the anniversary of the signing of the armistice that ended World War I. And so we want to just say, I want to read this poem here to begin it, and then we're going to get into the news of the day. I love this. It says, it's always been the soldier. It's the soldier, not the president, who gives us democracy. It's the soldier, not the Congress, who takes care of us. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier, not the campus or the community organizer, who has given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, that allows the protester to burn the flag.
Wow.
Charles Michael Province, U.S. Army.
True
That's
words.
so powerful right there.
That is amazing.
So thank you to all of our veterans from the bottom of our heart here at the Big Picture Family. We are very patriotic, and we know that we could not do what we do without you.
Right, and I'm so glad that our country has set aside certain days that we can honor the fallen, that we can honor those who have served. It's important. We just had a memorial service at our church yesterday for someone who was a civil servant, someone who was part of one of our protectors. And it was a great honor that we could be a part of his celebration service, his memorial. And I love every year that our church, and I know many of you, take time to remember. It's important. We have to teach those that are younger.
Yes.
We have to teach the importance to the younger generation, or guess what? They just won't ever do anything.
No,
it'll fall away.
Well, everything that we know about everything and everything that we honor is one generation away from extinction.
Come on.
It's always one generation away.
Wow, we're 2 minutes in. I'm already getting fired up.
Come on. I want you to get fired up tonight.
Feeling it.
We need an epic Sandy rant tonight. That's what we need. But look, let's cover this right here, because this is breaking news.
Yes.
This is something that just happened. Earthquakes have rattled Cuba after hurricanes and blackouts have already plagued this country. So I don't know how many of you knew about this, but a strong 6.8 earthquake struck off of Cuba's coast south of Santiago de Cuba.
This was yesterday, correct?
I think so, around noon local time on Sunday, yes, adding to the misery of residents who have endured weeks of hurricanes and blackouts across the island. According to U.S. Geological Survey, the quake's epicenter was about 24 miles south of Bartolomé Mazo, which is part of Cuba's Granma province. There were early reports of some damage to the province, but no immediate reports of injuries. There were no tsunami warnings or threats associated with the earthquake. Before the 6.8 earthquake. Another with a magnitude of 5.9 struck the same area around 10:50 a.m. local time. The rumbling was felt across the eastern stretch of Cuba, including bigger cities in Santiago de Cuba. Residents were left shaken. And I also read that a few people, even in Miami, felt it. So pretty serious event there.
Very serious, but I'm interested in taking a poll out there. Does anyone have the question in their mind, like I do, of, and I do feel very much compassion and concern for the residents of Cuba, that maybe it wasn't even an earthquake? Possibly something else was going on that would feel and present like an earthquake.
Yeah.
Truly, these people are suffering. They've already, I don't know how many hurricanes direct hit or skirting them they've had to worry about this year alone.
Yeah.
These blackouts persist. It's almost like there's some dark, evil plan working against them. I don't know. Maybe.
Things that make you go,
Yeah, give me some of that coffee.
Yeah, drink a little bit of coffee. While we get
I need to mainline this tonight.
The world is shook. I'm
just going to go ahead and say, tore up from the floor up.
Tore up from the floor up. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah. I just did that.
So
Bam.
Now we...
you know what I'm going to do?
By Larry Ragland.
I'm going to bring the chicken out. I'm not even naming this story the golden chicken, but I'm just going to make some noise right here. Tore up from the floor up.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it live together here. I don't even know what time it was they declared him, but it was late. And of course, we hung on to the speech. And we made it to 8 hours almost exactly.
Hey, we're not taking credit for this alone. We had friends come in and get on the hot seat. They got voluntold to get in here in one of these chairs while we went to the restroom or had snacks.
Yes.
So I thank those who popped in and helped us. And I know that you enjoyed our guests, our visitors.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, so Donald Trump has already begun to shake up the world and shake up the deep state. He has picked, and boy, I love this when I saw this, he has picked Tom Homan to oversee the border security deportations.
How many days away are we? And we're already just throwing it down, right?
Throwing it down.
I'm just laying the gauntlet down. Here's what's going to happen, y'all.
Let's see. Let's do it live. How many days until January 20th?
Siri.
Don't say her name. 70 days, exactly.
70 days.
Okay.
Letting you know.
Yeah. So let's look at this. Donald Trump picks Tom Homan to oversee border security. He's been interviewed by so many people over the years, and he is a guy, he's a no-compromise guy. He's a border hawk. Thomas Homan is getting a prize border security job in the new administration. Incoming President Donald Trump said in a message via his Truth social media network. Homan is an experienced border officer who served as acting chief of the Vital Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, otherwise known as ICE, in 2017 and 2018. The agency responsible for finding, arresting, and deporting illegal immigrants. Homan strongly supported Donald Trump during the 2024 election. Of course, this is a copy of the Donald Trump Truth post. But I wanted to show you this video here when he joined Fox News this morning.
I missed this, by the way.
Okay. So this was in response to Democratic governors and mayors across the country have come out and said, we will stand between you and our immigrants, not our legal immigrants, but our legal immigrants. You will not have access to them, and that you don't have the right, the sanctuary cities. And Homan had a message for him. So let's listen to what he says this morning to all the governors, the Democratic governors and mayors, saying they're going to stop him.
Well, I think, look, it'd be great to have local law enforcement assist ICE because, one thing we learned during 9/11 report was we shouldn't have stovepipes. Law enforcement should work with law enforcement. But, there's two things. Number one, under President Trump, he was suing the sanctuary cities, DOJ suing the sanctuary cities, pulling federal funds. Of course, day one, when Joe Biden came in office, he stopped that lawsuit. So that has to be put back in place. And look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion. If you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way because we're going to do it. So if we can't get assistance from New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send in New York City, because we're going to do the job. We're going to do the job without you or with you. But it's much easier to arrest a bad guy. Like I just said, we're concentrating on public safety threats of human and national security threats. Right. It's much easier to arrest a bad guy in the jail. Give us access to right to resign that we've been kicked out of. Let us get the bad guy in jail. It's safer for the alien. It's safer for the officer. It's safer for the community. But if you're going to release these bad guys, out in the community, then we're going to have to go find them, which puts the officer at risk, puts the community at risk, and puts, and bottom line is, it's no one, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And the left keeps saying, well, we want victims and witnesses of a crime to feel safe, come to the police department knowing we don't work for life. Let me make one thing clear. That's just a stone cold lie. Victims and witnesses of a crime does not want the bad guy back in their neighborhood.
That's true.
Certainly. And most the illegal immigrant community, they broke the law being there, they shouldn't be. However, after being there, they're God-fearing family people. I get it. Do they want a sexual predator in their neighborhood? Do they want someone convicted of DUI 10 times in their neighborhood? Let us protect not only the American communities, let us protect the immigrant community. Who's the victim of MS-13 crime? Yeah. The immigrant community. Yeah. So, if sanctuary cities don't want to help us, to get the hell out of the way, because we're coming.
Wow. So knowing what we've seen and what we've all been through for these past going on 4 years, someone coming in with this kind of resolve, what is he about to come up against?
Oh, he's coming up against the deep state. He's coming up against the plan to create a permanent democratic electoral map. That's what this is all about. Is they wanted Kamala to win, and one of the first things they were even admitting it towards the end. Mm-hmm. One of the first executive orders that Kamala Harris is going to do when she was sworn in is to fast track to legalizing and citizenship to the illegal aliens wherever they're at. And remember, they've been purposely spread out across the country in major cities, but also in red states, in red areas, so that just like that, it would go from red to blue voting blocks, and there would never be a Republican president ever again. And that's why they're so tore up, because they have worked so hard and spent, let's just tell it like it is, when you go all the way back, trillions of dollars that have been spent to bring these people in, house them.
Has to be all the goodies and benefits they've been given. But my question to you, and I guess everybody else, is how ugly do you think this is going to get?
It's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly.
I have heard 2 or 3 times about these pallets of bricks that have been left in cities. And by the way, Pamela said her comment disappeared.
I'm not surprised, y'all. We are getting all kinds of comments that are being disappeared and are being flagged. And by the way, unless you are just very hateful, filled with vile speech, we're not gonna block you, nothing like that. This is free speech here. We're not gonna let you come in here and abuse the big picture family. But people are like, why did my comment get flagged? 90% of the time, it's because YouTube did it.
Exactly.
And I have to find out later that they did it. We're on a list. We know we're on a list. But it's going to get ugly, Sandy. And speaking about what you're saying about the pallets, and we're going to we're just going to roll with this tonight and go and keep deep diving into this. That was what I did this show about. I believe it was last night, where I said, why is it so eerily quiet?
Exactly.
Don't believe it.
And a lot of people are asking that same question.
Don't believe it. Don't fall for it. It's
Joseph Z.
Yeah.
I was trying to, get his latest video. He's talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Why is everybody so quiet? Well, we know why they're quiet.
Yeah.
Because they're gearing up for something.
They're gearing up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And of course, I get the comments, oh, you fear mongers, you boy that cry wolf, everything's always something big is coming. Y'all, you don't board up a city 4.5 blocks away from the Capitol. And we have a history too of what these people do.
Yes.
They didn't all of a sudden just decide to get saved and just say, you know what, I found religion, I found God. Trump, he beat us fair and square, and we're not going to protest. That's a bunch of baloney. Bunch of baloney. Well, let's keep going in what Trump is doing to shake everything up. And some of you may or may not agree with some of these appointments, but today, I like this guy. He is another New Yorker, but he is a conservative, Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin has been appointed to lead the EPA, y'all. He is Trump is not playing. Last time he got sidetracked. That was his biggest thing. It took him 2 years of his 4 years to get his people appointed because I don't think he really thought he was going to win. And then he won. But this time he's coming prepared. He started paying out of his own pocket paying for his transition before he was ever even declared the winner. Yeah. And he ain't playing. So look, Lee Zeldin is going to head the EPA. President-elect Donald Trump has tapped former Representative Lee Zeldin, Republican from New York, to head the Environmental Protection Agency in his new administration. Trump said Zeldin, quote, has been a true fighter for American first policies and will ensure fair and swift deregulatory decisions that will be enacted to unleash the power of American businesses while at the same time maintaining the highest environmental standards, including the cleanest air and water on the planet. I'm deeply honored to have been asked by President Trump to serve in the cabinet as EPA administrator. We will restore American energy dominance, revitalize our auto industry, and bring back American jobs, make the United States the global leader of artificial intelligence advancement, and slash the red tape holding back American workers from upward economic mobility. I say this. I
love it too. I love it. Number one, though, we've got to contend with BRICS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is a dark cloud hanging over our head. And who knows when the shoe drops on it. Number two, I would like to know what his background is other than politics.
Yeah,
quite frankly.
Yeah, I would too. But I will say this: I remember this from Zeldin when he was serving. He was very against the EV mandate. He was very against the World Economic Forum's agenda, the Agenda 2030. So I know that at the very least, he is nothing like we had before. This stupidity about banning gas stoves and banning all that's out the window. Thank God.
Basically, almost everything that has happened or been mentioned as something in the works.
Yeah.
Let's axe it. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah. The stupidity, these things, we have covered them here. They're just stupid. You're going to ban gas stoves. You're going to ban. There was even banning wood burning stoves. It was a danger to the environment to burn wood.
Exactly.
Remember, in the UK, they banned you cutting down trees to burn wood in the winter because the smoke was putting off too much carbon. It's just stupid. This thing about cow poots. I mean, we're not going to be having news articles. I'm sure we still will, but it's not going to be as prevalent of people just say, "Yeah, ban the cow farts, ban the cow farts." I'm sorry to my grandchildren that are listening. I mean,
the Department of Defense.
The Department of Defense. Yes, that was an original. That was a big picture original. The Department of Defense.
Okay.
We could probably say the Department of every department.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I don't think I have a video on this, but he's also come out and said I don't know if he'll be able to do it. He's going to abolish the Department of Education. He said, I'm wiping it out, taking all the money from this government, Washington, D.C. Department of Education, and sending it back to the states. If he can do that, that's going to be amazing.
Come on with it. It's... how many?
The world is shook. That's why I called it that.
We're not a week yet.
We're not even a week.
We're not a week yet. But every day are brand new programs, and it's.
But let's have a clear mind here. We understand that he ain't gonna be able to get all of this done.
No.
And they're already, the deep state. McConnell's retiring. And, Rick Scott is being promoted by Elon Musk, Donald Trump, all of them saying this is the Senate leader that we need in order to portray this agenda. Well, it's probably not going to happen because they got to, get their good old boys in there. The two I forgot who it is, Thune and I can't remember the other guy's name. But these were former anti-Trumpers and all this. So there's going to be pushback. And a lot of these deep state Republicans, these rhinos especially, they love illegal immigration. They love it because they own businesses or are connected to businesses that use the cheap labor. So a lot of these things that he's saying, at least we have a president that's going to try to get it done. But we're going to the pressure's got to stay on.
Yes.
People cannot fall asleep at the wheel. I mean, there is too much work still to be done.
It's like if we thought we were fighting before now, the fight's just begun, right?
Yeah.
We've got to stay focused. We've got to not wear down, get tired, get distracted.
Exactly.
Think it's a done deal and a slam dunk. We can't do that, can we?
No. But I'm gonna tell you, he just come out, y'all, within less than 24 hours of being declared the victor. He put out a series of videos where he is standing there saying these things he's going to do.
Rapid fire.
And I'm telling you, it was genius. And one of the things, y'all, you may or may not have heard of this to the Big Picture family. I had just told you about it last night.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, he come out and said this. President-elect Trump has announced a push that he will push for national concealed carry reciprocity. Dude, for those that believe in the Second Amendment and the right to defend themselves, and these people that are anti-Second Amendment, they are losing their mind.
Gotta be.
Because this is what this means. Over the weekend, President-elect Donald Trump announced a push for a national concealed carry reciprocity, a move which would make the concealed permit of any one state valid in the other 49 states. On Sunday, Donald Trump Jr. posted on Instagram, boom, my father just announced concealed carry reciprocity. The Second Amendment will stay and remain protected. Texas Gun Rights posted a video of his announcement. And let's watch what he said here.
Seventh, I will protect the right of self-defense everywhere it is under siege, and I will sign concealed carry reciprocity. Your Second Amendment does not end at the state line. In addition,
All right. So that was just a little clip of it.
Okay.
But just months after Trump launched his first presidential campaign, he began to talk about the right of self-defense. Of course, it's the Second Amendment. Many people have said the reason that we have a Second Amendment is to protect the right to have a First Amendment. Yep. That if you don't really have a Second Amendment, you're really never going to have a First Amendment. Wow. And that's why they were so close together. But
it's weird to hear somebody make sense in Washington, D.C., right?
Right. It's almost scary. It's almost scary.
I mean, I have to shake myself. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Because think about,
This is amazing.
For those that have never heard the term reciprocity, it's just a fancy term for this. So you'll understand exactly what we're saying. Like in Alabama, if you have a concealed carry license where you can, you got a permit to carry your weapon concealed under your shirt or in your purse or something like that, and if you ever get pulled over, whatever question, you have a concealed carry because you've gone through the application process. Now Alabama, like several other states, have also become open carry and have been, now they've declared that you don't even have to have a concealed carry license, that you if you are of age and if you're not a felon, you have a right to carry a weapon. But what he's saying is, like in Alabama, don't mind saying this right now, very proud Second Amendment believers here on this show, me and you both. We both are concealed carry, and we're unashamed of that. And so that what this means is right now it's not the case, but if he were able to succeed and get this through Congress, and it was, I guess it would have to be an amendment or what, I don't know. If it came to pass, that would mean that if we were traveling, let's say to Kansas, or if we were going up to Ohio, or if we were going on a trip to Florida, we would not have to, right now, I have to go and look online who honors the reciprocity laws of Alabama. Most of the Southeast does, but when you go out of the Southeast, they don't. So it's like, if you're traveling by car, of course you can't take it on the plane with you, but if you're traveling by car and you want to protect yourself traveling, you know which states that if you're pulled over, your driver's license is honored just like your gun permit. So he's saying he's going to do away with, no matter what the law is in California or Chicago, Illinois, or New York City, if you are a Second Amendment in good standing and you travel to New York City, they cannot do anything to you. Y'all, that's going to drive these people crazy.
I was about to say that alone could make them lose their mind.
They're going to lose their mind because they're trying to take.
I mean, if it's successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be surprising if it is. But these people are trying to take away our Second Amendment. They certainly ain't going to sit by and just let me take my Second Amendment to them.
Wow.
This is crazy, y'all. This is so crazy. Yes. And like you said, it's just like it ain't even been a week yet. He's come prepared, y'all. I'm telling you, I don't know how much he's going to succeed, but Donald Trump ain't playing. His people ain't playing. Last time he surrounded himself with people because he didn't know what he was doing as president. He had been a successful businessman, but he had never been in government. And he had a lot of people promise him a lot of things, and they stabbed him in the back. Yep. And he's had 4 years. First of all, he had the 4 years to own the job. And then he's had 4 years to learn I'm not doing that again. And I'm telling you, he's coming in locked and loaded.
I was going to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stole it.
I was going to say, you might even say he's locked and loaded.
Which, look, you got, hey,
I'm leaving.
Snooze, you lose. But hey, that's a great line. You have to admit it. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about Second Amendment, locked and loaded.
Whatever.
Sorry, I stole your thunder. But
anyway.
look, this.
Anywho.
You know, I predicted this. You know, I've got some things. I've hit some things. I predicted he would win the Electoral College and the popular vote.
You did say that.
Probably 2 months ago. It was close to 2 months ago when I started saying it. I was like, when they were still saying Kamala's going to win, I said, I just got a feeling. I said, might not happen. I got a feeling.
Okay,
he's
you
going to
guys out there, just say, go Larry.
Come on.
Go Larry.
Can somebody just acknowledge the fact that I was one of the few
just acknowledge
saying that he was going to win the popular vote?
On the prediction.
Okay. So I also predicted this. And I'm not saying I'm the only one that's predicted all these things, but I also said, don't be surprised if she loses between November 5th and January 20th, that there is a push to make Joe Biden resign and put Kamala Harris. Did I not? Did I not?
Okay.
Give me some credit before I go to the article.
Okay. Yes. And I'm glad that we're getting to this now because it is in the forefront of my mind, having just been watching that Joseph Z shortly before we started. So this is don't leave. Don't go to the bathroom. It's about to get good.
Yeah. All right. So former communications director for Kamala Harris suggests that Biden should resign. Vice President Kamala Harris's former communications director, Jamal Simmons, suggested that President Joe Biden should resign in order to make Harris the first woman president.
What's his last name? Simmons. Okay.
Simmons. In a post on X, Simmons acknowledged that Biden has been amazing, adding that he should step down from the presidency in order to be transitional and ensure that Harris is the first woman president. Joe Biden has been amazing, but he should fulfill one last promise: to be transitional. Biden should resign and make Kamala Harris the first woman president. It would turn tables on Trump. Simmons added that Biden resigning from the presidency would keep Kamala from having to preside over the Senate's January 6th certification of President-elect Donald Trump's election victory and make it easier for the next woman to run for president. I reported it. I predicted it. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen.
Look,
but
okay.
they're saying it.
They're
putting the trial balloon out.
Let's just have two sidebars right here. Let's go back to that Gerald Ford prediction from like 1998 where he was talking to the little girl.
Good point.
And said there will be a woman president and this is how it will happen. A man will get sick and step down or die, da-da-da-da-da. And let's talk about the number 48 and the word that has been going out about the belief that Trump will be number 48. And I don't know how many are talking about this, but if that happened and she became 47, Trump would become number
48.
48.
Yeah. I honestly don't believe it's going to happen. I believe
it's a long shot.
I believe there's a chance it could happen if he would have eked out an electoral victory and lost the popular vote by a great margin. The fact that he is definitely going to have the Senate, and pretty sure he's going to have the House, the popular vote and electoral vote. I think they understand that if they even tried that it would be chaotic. It would never happen, and the Democrats would never be forgiven, and even many of the Democrats would turn on them as just an act of desperation. But I'm just saying the fact that they are saying that. Yeah. And what I thought was interesting about the article was not just the end game of what he was saying, but it was saying, and that would also keep her from having to oversee the certification of his presidency on January 6th. Make no mistake about it, y'all. They are planning on something happening on January 6th.
In the works. Okay, this is one time when I would like to be on the inside and know just what's going on.
Yeah, because, January 6th is when Jamie Raskin said we have the right to declare him an insurrectionist on January 6th and bar him from entering the White House. And so January, think about this. All our lives, all we ever heard about was January 20th. We never heard about January 6th. Nobody ever talked about January 6th. We had heard people talk about how the electoral college has to meet and they have to vote and has to be certified. But we didn't think anything about that. We thought about November 5th and January 20th. That's it. But January 20th, is it right? Or 10th? I can't.
20th.
20th. I'm having a brain freeze. But now all of a sudden January 6th has become huge because there is no January 20th without January 6th. So I believe they're not going to. There's probably going to be protests planned on January 20th, where the famous girl in the green jacket going when they said he's now the president. We got sworn in. I believe it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. I believe people are going to come. They're going to pack the place out. The last time they were scared to death to even admit that they supported Trump. Mm-hmm. It's totally different now. I believe this inauguration is going to be massive on the mall there.
Yeah, well, people in chat are saying there's a plan, something's going on.
But where I'm going with is there's going to be protests that day, but I believe the planned events to try to cause chaos is probably being planned for January 6th, not January 20th. That's my opinion.
I agree with you, but part of me says that those events would start even before then.
Probably.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe they think the 6th is the perfect day.
Yeah.
That 2 weeks out before inauguration. Yeah. Let's start here and just continue to make noise, and we got to bring in the police, maybe martial law to calm everybody down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, war is another scenario where the current president does not move.
Yeah.
There's no way that we can know what evil plans are lurking.
No. And it's not just the deep state here that's pushing back, but already around the world, world leaders are freaking out. They are shook and they are making plans to push back because their little money pit is their little money stream that they've got going, their control, the global government plan, their World Economic Forum plan is being messed up. So Britain, France, and Poland are now conspiring together to undermine Trump's Ukraine peace mission already. President-elect Donald Trump has made peace in Europe a key campaign pledge, but several NATO member states are dedicated to total Ukrainian victory and would discuss how to, quote, thwart him and keep Kiev in the war, even if Washington withdraws support. London, Paris, and Warsaw are to form the nucleus of a European effort to keep Ukrainian defensive war against Russia going, even if the Trump presidency from January 25 tries to bring an end to the Ukraine war.
That is so interesting that they think they can keep this thing at fever pitch, even if they cut off the U.S. money pipeline.
Yeah, it's because really, honestly, they probably can to some extent. Now, I don't think they've ever dealt with anybody like Trump, but
there's no way. I don't care if they go around with handouts around
we're
the
Money.
world.
We're the money givers.
Exactly.
We're the money. We're the money. Yeah, we cut the money off
for a war that we still never hear anything about.
Think about that.
Where is the war correspondence?
Thank you.
On the 5 o'clock news.
Where's the embedded reporters like we've had in every major war?
Exactly.
Especially the fact that since we send money. It says exactly how he will achieve the campaign pledge has not been articulated to date. However, a land swap between Kiev and Moscow or a Korean-style demilitarized zone has been discussed as options open to Trump, neither of which aligns with Ukraine's official ambition of total victory. British Troy-aligned Broad Street, the Daily Telegraph, cites senior government but unnamed sources who tell of what the paper says is expected to be a plot of last-ditch attempt to thwart Donald Trump's efforts to scale back U.S. support for Ukraine. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer is in Paris today, having received troops with French President Emmanuel Macron on the streets of Paris for Armistice Day, and the pair had talks of defense matters during the day. And of course, you see Trump has spoken with German leader Scholz about ending the Ukraine war and return peace in Europe. It is stated that the pair have talked about keeping Ukraine fighting and how to persuade outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden to give a last-minute sign-off on allowing Ukraine to use the long-range bunker buster cruise missiles given to it by Western partners to launch strikes deep inside Russia. Ukraine has been calling for authorization to use these advanced modern weapons in the war for months, and it is a key part of President Zelensky's victory plan. But the United States believes it's a risk that could seriously escalate with Moscow. It absolutely is. And for them to openly say, we as another country, we're going to work trying to force Joe Biden, who is dealing with full-blown Alzheimer's and dementia to some level, I think, to agree to a last-minute deal to say, okay, not just more money, but authorize you to use a bunker-busting missile, which would absolutely escalate the war to such an extent that it would make it extremely difficult for a peace deal to come to play because of the damage, and it would force Russia to have to retaliate. They are not happy unless we go into full World War III.
So sick.
It is sick. It is sick.
And by the way, I'm so angry. I am convinced that they keep us in a state of confusion with different versions of Joe Biden. I know that I pound and pound on this line of thinking, but come on.
Yeah.
He can barely walk across the sand he's standing on a stage giving 45-minute speeches, screaming and carrying on. I'm sorry, those two do not compute to be the same thing. I think that I think it's an absolute plan to keep us confused about what the truth is.
And did you see how concerned Jill was for her husband, that she was just so loving and caring during while he was still running, and he's stumbling and he can't even hardly walk during the sand. She's not even helping him. She don't even care anymore. She is evil. She's brutal. Yeah. It's been proven. She is a player. She thought she was the president. And now that he's out of the picture, she does not care about him at all. Well, she's not trying to hold him up.
He's almost completely lost his usefulness as far as she is concerned. Here's a crazy line of thinking. Supposedly, the Bidens are so at odds with Kamala. This is crazy talk, I know. But that maybe they even voted for the other guy. Because why was Jill wearing a red suit on Election Day? I mean, I don't know. That sounds crazy, right?
Let's not forget Joe Biden putting the MAGA hat on and carrying it on the plane with him in his hand. And did you see the spring in his step the day after when he walked out there and did his little speech in the Rose Garden?
Exactly. I mean, as opposed to he can barely stay.
He ran out there. He's just like, I want to tell everybody, I want to tell Donald Trump, congratulations.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Keeping you confused, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not going to say you. I'm going to say the average person.
Right.
Confused. I'm not confused. I know exactly what I'm seeing. I hope you know what you're seeing.
I know what I'm seeing too. But watch this. They're going to meet Wednesday. Biden and Trump are meeting in the White House.
Well, this ought to be interesting.
This ought to be interesting.
I hope we get to see every precious moment of that exchange.
We're not going to.
Yeah.
They'll probably have something, but there's no way. There's no way you're going to see it. But look at this. This is what's being reported. Before leaving office, Joe Biden is wanting to convince Trump to keep the war in Ukraine going. The Biden White House has made it clear that it will prioritize attempting to convince the incoming Trump administration to keep up massive defense assistance in Ukraine, and fears the U.S. could essentially abandon the Zelensky government while pursuing peace with Moscow. President Biden will have the opportunity over the next 70 days to make the case to the Congress and to the incoming administration that the United States should not walk away from Ukraine, that walking away from Ukraine means more instability in Europe. Biden's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told CBS News on Sunday. President-elect Trump has stated that he plans to cut all aid, but he did recently mock President Zelensky as the world's greatest salesman for securing hundreds of millions of dollars in new taxpayer funds recently. Incoming VP J.D. Vance has been even more critical of the Ukrainian government. He has on several occasions expressed deep frustration at even fellow Republicans' willingness to sign over billions to Ukraine with ease. But Sullivan has vowed that in the interim, the White House plans to get Ukraine the aid passed by Congress on time and in full. Our approach remains the same as it's been for the last 2.5 years, which is to put Ukraine in the strongest possible position on the battlefield so that it can ultimately in the strongest possible position at the negotiation table. He said on Face the Nation. Interestingly, he at one point in the Sunday discussion referenced tensions in Southeast Asia involving China and allies like Japan and Taiwan, claiming that weakened U.S. support in Kiev could signal to China that the U.S. is in retreat. President Biden will make the case that we do not need ongoing resources in Ukraine beyond the end of his term. We do need, but by the end of his term, because the threat of Ukraine will remain no matter what exactly happens on the battlefield or negotiating table.
Well, how interesting. We've had how many stories on Ukraine right now? And we're how many minutes into this show? Yeah. All of this noise and all this money and all this tension. We got to talk about this non-war war.
Right. And look, we understand Putin bad, Russia bad. We understand that. But so is Ukraine. Ukraine is very corrupt. Just think if we only took just a portion of the money that we have sent Ukraine to help homelessness, to help homeless veterans, to help the economy, to deport illegal aliens, all this kind of stuff that we say that we can't afford, but yet we keep printing money to send to a country. We covered on this show in depth that one of the bills that we sent over there kept mom and pop businesses open, paid for garbage pickup,
absolutely,
paid for people's 401k and retirement in Ukraine so that they could still get their pensions. I mean, this is not conspiracy theory. This was fact.
It is so ridiculous in this country, in our country. If we would just do a better job at the border, a better job of immigration, we wouldn't have to worry about taking care of so many people. Some of them clearly don't need to be here because of criminal backgrounds and because of other reasons. And look at all the crime that has taken place inside our country.
Yes.
People have had crimes committed against them, even been murdered. Some people have been kicked out of their apartments to make way for other groups. Some of these groups, this is not even government, just the groups of people are coming and running people out of their homes and apartments, or they're terrorizing their neighborhoods, and they're so afraid to even live in their homes anymore. Well, I cannot get rid of that image of that lady, what was it, Springfield?
Yeah.
Where she was before the city council pleading, begging, where's the protection for me? They're burning mattresses in my front yard. They're terrorizing me in my own home.
But then they mocked her, saying she's just making this up. It's not even true.
Yeah.
The mayor said it's not even true.
They're not eating the cats and the dogs.
They're eating the dog. No. They're eating the cats up in here. Something like that. Did you ever hear that song they made?
Just a snip of it.
Okay.
Yeah. That was audio gold right there.
That was audio gold. But yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And the reality is this. That's the money that we know about. Mm-hmm. It has been proven there's so much money that's going out of this country that we don't know about. They can't find trillions of dollars that supposedly just went missing over the years. But that's where it's going. That's what it is. It is what it is. And let's also remember this. Remember when Kamala towards the end of the election process was talking, that all she wanted to ever say about the immigration process is that we had a bill, and the Republicans voted it down. It was going to be the strongest border bill that we've ever had. Well, here's the thing: 10% of the money that was allotted in that border bill went to the border. Yep. 60% of the money that was in that bill, that's called the border security bill, was going to Ukraine. The other percentage was going to Israel. It was going to Taiwan and somewhere else.
And this is such a convenient, I don't know how often, but maybe often used practice of sneaking other things into these bills.
It's disgusting. Oh, you remember Pelosi said, we got to pass the bill so we know what's in it.
Yeah. And we all just sat back and said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes perfect sense. Let's do it. Go, go, go.
Yeah. All right. So look, the next thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a series of videos, YouTube video clips we're going to react to. The first one's going to be by Glenn Beck. And he's just going to talk about another thing that Donald Trump just said in all of these series of videos that he put out within 24 hours of winning the election about censorship. And I'm telling you right now, if he can do 50%, 25% of all the things that he put out on those videos, dude, this is a different country. And we're going to show you that video in 30 seconds.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at larryragland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yes, we are. All right, so let's look at this video from Glenn Beck here. He's calling this "Why Trump's Free Speech Plan is the Most Amazing Thing Glenn Has Ever Heard." So let's see what's so amazing about it.
Just make a list, okay? This is his plan to end the censorship cartel.
If we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple, just like dominoes, one by one. They'll go down. That's why today I'm announcing my plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people. They have collaborated to suppress vital information on everything from elections to public health. The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed, and it must happen immediately. And here's my plan.
There you go.
First, within hours of my inauguration, I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens. I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis or disinformation. And I will begin the process of identifying and firing every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship, directly or indirectly, whether they are the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are. Second, I will order the Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified. These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws, the Hatch Act, and a host of other potential criminal, civil, regulatory, and constitutional offenses. To assist in these efforts, I am urging House Republicans to immediately send preservation letters, and we have to do this right now, to the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, and every Silicon Valley tech giant, ordering them not to destroy evidence of censorship. Third, upon my inauguration as president, I will ask Congress to send a bill to my desk revising Section 230 to get big online platforms out of censorship business. From now on, digital platforms should only qualify for immunity protection under Section 230 if they meet high standards of neutrality, transparency, fairness, and non-discrimination. We should require these platforms to increase their efforts to take down unlawful content such as child exploitation and promoting terrorism, while dramatically curtailing their power to arbitrarily restrict lawful speech. Fourth, we need to break up the entire toxic censorship industry that has arisen under the false guise of tackling so-called mis- and disinformation. The federal government should immediately stop funding all nonprofits and academic programs that support this authoritarian project. If any U.S. university is discovered to have engaged in censorship activities or election interferences in the past, such as flagging social media content for removal of blacklisting, those universities should lose federal research dollars and federal student loan support for a period of 5 years and maybe more. We should also enact new laws laying out clear criminal penalties for federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities to do an end run around the Constitution and deprive Americans of their First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment rights.
My Lord.
In other words, deprive them of their vote. And once you lose those elections, and once you lose your borders like we have, you no longer have a country.
My goodness.
Furthermore, to confront the problems of major platforms being infiltrated by legions of former deep staters and intelligence officials, there should be a 7-year calling off period before any employee of the FBI, CIA, NSA, DNI, DHS, or DOD is allowed to take a job at a company possessing vast quantities of U.S. user data.
My goodness.
Fifth, the time has finally come for Congress to pass a digital Bill of Rights. This should include a right to digital due process. In other words, government officials should need a court order to take down online content, not send information requests such as the FBI was sending to Twitter. Furthermore, when users of big online platforms have their content or accounts removed, throttled, shadow banned, or otherwise restricted, no matter what name they use, they should have the right to be informed that it's happening.
Wow.
The right to a specific explanation of the reason why,
unreal.
And the right to a timely appeal. In addition, all users over the age of 18 should have the right to opt out of content moderation and curation entirely and receive an unmanipulated stream of information if they so choose. The fight for free speech is a matter of victory or death for America and for the survival of Western civilization itself. When I am president, this whole rotten system of censorship and information control will be ripped out of the system at large. There won't be anything left. By restoring free speech, we'll begin to reclaim our democracy and save our nation. Thank you, and God bless America.
Wow. I don't know about you, but what I was hearing is there's a new sheriff in town.
What?
I'm on a warpath. You've just been put on notice. And all of you crazy people better watch out. How many agencies did he just call out?
I love what somebody said. Is he breathing?
Exactly.
Lord have
Whenever
mercy.
they say furthermore, brace yourself,
Yeah.
right? But he said misinformation,
Disinformation.
pushing it right back in their face.
In the World Economic Forum's face. That was right in Klaus Schwab's face.
Exactly.
I mean, I watched part. I hadn't even seen all of that. I'm watching a lot of it with you.
Take that, polycrisis.
Exactly. I mean, I love what he said about the throttling and the hiding and the censorship.
Exactly.
It should be a law. And I don't know how many of you caught that. You got to go back and watch this again. And I'm going to have to myself. But when he talked about 230 is the rule that the social media companies operate under to determine that they are not a publisher.
Yeah.
They're not regulated. They're different in free speech. So in other words, they have the right to censor whoever they want to censor. Well, what?
Gina Blakely said, "Daddy's home."
Exactly. Yeah.
And listen, I want to be clear.
Hang on. Let me finish my point here.
Go ahead.
Is the 230 thing he says needs to be overridden and it needs to become illegal. Listen to what he said. I don't know if he'll be able to get away because you talk about the powerful forces of Google and Facebook and Meta and all these are going to come against it. But he's saying we ought to have the right that if we do something, say something that gets flagged and we get throttled, we should be privately notified and having the right to appeal.
There you go.
The thing is, it's happened to me and it's happened to many of you that are watching this and some of the people that you follow. The reality is this: when it's happening, you have no idea it's happening until you just have to do your own analytics and you realize wait a minute, this is not right. Something's not right here. And you start asking people, when's the last time you saw my content? And they'll say, well, I didn't even know you put anything out, because the people that are your subscribers, your followers, and even your partners and supporters don't even see it. And what Trump is saying is that is un-American. And that I love when he says, I'm going to rip the guts out.
He sure did.
I got to do this again.
He sure did.
Sound the alarm.
Listen, it would be really easy to get high on hopium right now. Maybe I'm a little high on hopium.
Yeah.
But I like the way all of that sounded. If it could actually happen, what?
Yeah. Yeah. If it could actually happen. What'd you call it? Hopium?
Hopium.
That's pretty good. I like that.
You like that?
Was that original, or one of your people said that? One of your peeps?
I done been hearing that. Hopium.
Hopium. We got a great crowd on here tonight. If you have not smashed that like button, what are you waiting on? Smash it, smash it, smash it.
We just don't understand that at all.
We're on YouTube, Rumble, and X tonight. I think. Who knows? You never know anymore. But if you have not smashed that like button, smash it now.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing that's brewing is that not only is the world leaders pushing back, planning, and then you got the deep state pushing back, but we have, and I think everybody don't take a genius or a prophet to figure this out, that those that want to cross the border, they realize I need to do it pretty soon.
Better hurry up.
Better hurry up. So we got a couple of videos here that are talking about that very thing. And this first video we're going to go to here, this is called National Emergency to be Declared, Supplies Staged for Emergency Situation, Border Wave Expected.
Some of you will expect this.
So let's listen to him.
You'll know who this young man is.
This time, we've got talk of a national emergency that's about to be declared. And this is going to have everything to do with Trump making moves here. If you look at CNN or any of these other outlets, they're talking about secret meetings that just went down between the Pentagon that got leaked out. And they're talking about what they're going to do here with this surge of migrants. And the Biden administration is openly stating that they're preparing a wave, a huge surge of migrants to come in before Trump takes office. Now, Trump is saying that out of his top 5 things he's going to do on day one, 2 of them have to do with the border. 1 is immigration. Number 2 is the wall. So these are key things he's rolling out immediately. And then we've got the situation going down up in Michigan where you have FEMA staging massive amounts of equipment up there in an area near the border. So this hasn't just been a southern border thing, although the southern border has caught most of the attention. We have had tons of illegals coming across the northern border. I have people emailing me telling me that on their property they have the IDs of these people, that once they cross into the United States, they're ditching their IDs and they're finding them all over the place and have been.
Now you're talking about the northern border.
Northern.
So they're coming across the northern border.
And that's not a new thing.
Yeah.
This has been happening.
Right. So let's finish that.
Tons coming across that way. So does it have something to do with sealing up the northern area? Why would FEMA stage equipment, 350 loads worth of equipment up there for nothing? They usually only do this if they know a hurricane's coming through or something like that. That's why you stage equipment, when you know something's going to go down. So that's why everyone's asking questions like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Well, there's a huge national emergency that's going to be launched here by Trump, apparently on day one, dealing with this whole thing.
All right, so let's go to this next one as well.
Elwood, I've been following Dabu since 2017. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. All right, so this is another one. It's called now I've not watched this whole video. You sent this to me. I watched a little bit of it.
I was not able to watch the entire
Okay,
video.
so we're going to watch a little bit of
This
it.
is JWTV. Some of you who are Dabu watchers and other people in that kind of realm, you'll know who this is. Christopher Jackson, I believe is his name.
Okay.
Even too long ago, Biden just put in his emergency order, and this is another extension of national emergencies as we see stuff happening on the ground. Biden extends another national emergency, this time related to WMDs, the same ones Bush was pushing, the rest of them. And at the same time, we got some meetings going on that are going to be trying to push back against Donald Trump whenever he gets in. Pentagon officials discuss scenarios to countermand controversial orders coming from incoming commander-in-chief report. So they're having secret meetings about this. We're going to talk deeper about this because this is really going to intensify the scenarios coming. And we've still been exposing on the ground how Antifa has been out there in places like Seattle. This is where it's at right now. They're pushing that on the ground, but yet they're saying whenever Trump pushes some controversial orders, this is probably going to be to stop their civil unrest, to stop their emergency situation that we're going to be dealing with. So we got to break all of this down. We also see some movements as well, and we're going to show you those movements here. This was a clip that just got put out an hour ago, and we're going to discuss a little bit about this clip. Breaking major movement of National Guard in Columbia, South Carolina. Doesn't look like a Veterans Day parade, but would be a nice excuse for a look over there. Not here. So we're going to play this clip real quick. Then we're going to get into all the other information here that's important.
Moments ago, breaking news sent shockwaves through the industry.
A lot of people attended these parties. A lot of people saw this.
You got the National Guard coming through it for some reason. It's a lot of them too.
If that was happening on today, this procession that they're showing, that's a little bit convenient.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. How convenient to say, look,
to do
look
it
over
on
here.
Veterans Day.
On Veterans Day.
And there are a lot of people in our chat right now saying FEMA is staging all over Michigan.
Wow.
I have seen multiple comments about FEMA in Michigan. What's going on?
That's why we were saying earlier, if you're coming in late here, don't believe the hype that things are just quiet and that, you know, they've just learned their lesson and they're going to just let Trump be president. No, they're planning something. Excuse me. They're planning something, not just for January 6th and January 20th, but they're planning something for the next 70 days. And, you know, we have major emergencies being declared on our border. And what we just heard is it's not just the southern border, it's the northern border as well.
Well, okay. Did we already talk about, because my head's spinning, I'm sorry, they're expecting a major surge. Yes. At the southern border.
Now they tried to spin it that soon as Trump won, the big group started disbanding, and some of them started saying, "Well, I need to go back because I'm gonna get deported." I felt like that was a distraction. I felt like they're not going. They're going to still try to get over. They've not gone this far, and then all of a sudden get close to the Mexico border and say, "You know what? Trump's the president. He's going to kick me out, so I'm going to go back to Venezuela." Yeah. No, I don't believe that hype. I believe we're going to see a surge. That's what happened before Trump became president in 2016.
Yeah,
it's going to happen again. But I'm telling you, they're going to find a different country when they come in here. And look, let's get back to the fact that what we're not even talking about anymore is the fact that they tried to kill this man. And that's when he's running for president, when they didn't think he's going to actually even win the presidency. Now he's won it. And he's said all these things, laid out all these things. He's called the deep state out, called the deep censorship people out. He's called immigration out. He says, I'm going to finish the wall. He says, I'm going to have the greatest mass deportation in the history of civilization. All this. Do you think that if they tried to kill him while he's running for president, that they're not going to try and do something else? Y'all, come on, please. It's just going to,
I think
he better have some really good security that he trusts.
People, it would be easy for them to get to that thought, because come on, like you said, if they've already attempted it before, wow, they have a lot to lose now.
Yeah. And look, we ain't even talked about this. Probably the most religious fanatics in the world are not the so-called Christian nationalists like they want to call us, which is just a catchphrase for we don't agree with your way of living for Jesus, right. But is the religion of climate. I mean, think about it. We've covered that when the World Economic Forum met in January in Davos, they put out those two lists. I want to remind you again, we've talked about it extensively, and you've seen it tonight. You've seen this response tonight, and you saw Donald Trump call out these words. They, for the first time ever, they put out 2 top 10 lists of the greatest dangers of the world against humanity. Always climate is number 1. For the next 10 years, climate is still number 1. But then they put out one for the next 2 years. And number 1, ahead of climate was number 2, was misinformation and disinformation. Yeah. So because they knew we got to get out ahead of this, because if we don't control the narrative, we don't control any of it.
We've got to control the narrative. We've got to control the flow of information.
Exactly.
We need to mold those little minds into what we want them to be thinking.
And climate is our religion, and climate is our way of moving money around. Climate is our way of scaring people to death and getting more and more control. Well, of course, we know that Donald Trump is hated by the climate community, and the Bible said, yes, the preacher in there. Can't keep the preacher down. Trump win throws UN climate summit into disarray. Did you know that while he was winning, the United Nations were having their annual climate gathering?
No.
At the same exact time. It's unbelievable, the timing. Climate officials in the Biden administration and around the world are working overtime to Trump-proof the United Nations climate process ahead of the upcoming UN COP 29. Mm-hmm. They were gathering for it, and they're there now in Azerbaijan.
Oh, that was good, babe.
Thank you. Azerbaijan. I got it. Did I say it right?
I'm impressed.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. But I can't just say Azerbaijan.
What?
Country. I got to say Azerbaijan. I got to say Azerbaijan.
No. Yeah.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
But despite their best efforts, President-elect Donald Trump's historic return to power next year is already dramatically shaking up the whole summit and the broader movement it represents. At the very least, Trump's well-known hostility to globalism and the, quote, climate scam, his words, my words as well, will overshadow the alarmism pushed by the United Nations, the Chinese Communist Party, Joe Biden, and many others. Some analysts believe that it could even kill the whole movement that rests on an increasingly discredited hypothesis that Trump has repeatedly described as a dangerous hoax. During his last term, Trump famously ended U.S. involvement in the controversial UN Paris Agreement. Under the scheme, Barack Obama pledged that the U.S. government would decimate the American economy while Communist China rulers vowed to keep building coal-fired power plants until at least 2030. Trump's second term is likely to be even more brutal to the climate agenda. What will Trump do? Former Trump EPA Chief of Staff Mandy Gunasaraka warned that the gloves would be coming off of the climate front in Trump's second term. There's an even serious talk of the U.S. withdrawal from the underlying treaty that the Paris Accord was built upon, the 1992 UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. Discussing her new book, Y'all Fired on the Liberty. Okay, what a name.
On the Liberty Report.
Okay. I do think that President Trump will understand and not be burdened by insignificant arguments that, we need a seat at the table, or this is really going to matter in terms of our relationship to international issues. I think the gloves are absolutely coming off. The Paris Accord is a subcomponent of something called the UNFCCC, an actual treaty that went through the Senate. We need to get out, and Trump has the tools to get us out of that treaty, which is going to shut down a lot of the derivative shenanigans, including things like the Paris Climate Accord being used to push erroneous regulations on the United States again, while the rest of the world would get a free pass. Now, he's already said that just like he did in his first term, he's going to sign that executive order, going to remove us from the Paris Accords. And remember, he even removed us. A lot of people forgot this. He removed the United States from the World Health Organization. Did you remember that? He took us out of the World Health Organization.
Okay.
And day one, Joe Biden put us back in the World Health Organization and put us back in the Paris Accords. Well, y'all, that right there, you'd think they tried to take him out. They are so tore up about this climate, and they're so religiously worshiping which God's word said in the last days they'll worship the creation more than the creator. And that's what this climate deal is. Y'all, this is going to be crazy the first 100 days. In fact, the first day when they start covering these executive orders in the first 100 days of Trump's term,
Oh, boy.
I'm telling you, it is going to be like nothing
Maybe our
we
head
have
will
ever
spin
seen.
even faster than it did in the first 100 days of Biden.
Oh, yeah.
In a good way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then we ain't even talked about, and I don't even know if we got an article on, we ain't even talked about what is RFK going to do with the health.
Exactly.
And
He's going to make America healthy again.
Yeah. Maha. I thought that was a little silly. But he jumped on the Maha bandwagon.
Okay. Moving on.
But what do you think about RFK? I mean, is he going to really, and Elon Musk and all that? I mean, are they going to really be in the cabinet? You know, they're saying Elon Musk has not left Mar-a-Lago since this happened. He's basically living at Mar-a-Lago. I saw Laura Trump saying, I think he's living there. She said every time I go back in there to see my family, he's there. Okay. You know, he's all in. Elon Musk, he's living in Mar-a-Lago.
What was that he said on that 2 or 3 hour phone conversation? That Trump could make him the what was the word?
Something about the waste.
You guys know. Tell us in chat what he said. He could give him what cabinet seat he could give.
He's already said he's going to give it to him.
Okay.
He's already said that.
Okay.
He's publicly said, "I'm going to make you that."
In his free time.
It's not a cabinet position, but
it's not one now. I don't know if he's going to, I don't know what he's doing. But wow, in all of his free time, he's just hanging out at Mar-a-Lago. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I see somebody says Elon loves Barron. Yeah, y'all know, Barron is not getting enough credit here. They're saying Barron is the reason that Trump won the presidency, because every one of those podcasts that he went on, he'd never heard any of them. He might have heard Joe Rogan, I'm sure, but all these others that he went on, he'd never heard of.
Efficiency,
yeah.
It was
the Department of Efficiency,
or some kind of
control of
efficiency.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know. Whatever.
That's what it is. Yeah, Department of Government Efficiency. Thank you, CJ. But Barron said, "Dad, you got to go on this show. You got to go on the show." And when he did, I'm telling you, he introduced himself to these young people, and this young MAGA movement is what put him in office.
And so maybe if you're not familiar with him, hey, you're going to listen to that 7'6"
dude. He's like a giant. Is he Nephilim?
Well, you're taking the words right out of my mind. No, I didn't want to say that.
Just kidding.
It's freakishly tall.
Trump's tall, and he towers over Trump.
Yes. Everybody in the family has to look up to him.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Ba-da-boom. All right.
All right. So let's continue. But Trump. We talk about Trump's got to protect himself. We believe that Trump. The Secret Service is not enough.
And you got to get imaginative with it.
Yeah.
Not only do you got to protect yourself, you got to use your imagination. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think some of you know where this next story is going.
Where we're going. Trump has now made it official at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe this is one of the reasons Elon's staying there, because he feels safe. Because right now, not in the future, not in some futuristic today, Trump is now using robo-dogs.
I've seen this in a movie or a series or something, right? We watched one.
They're working right now. They are patrolling Mar-a-Lago. Bill Gates wants to work with Trump now. Can you imagine that? To build a better future for everyone. Since being reelected as president of the United States, former President Donald Trump has upped his personal security at his residence in Mar-a-Lago in Florida with the use of robo-dogs.
You should have said, ding, ding, ding. Yes, it's the robo-dog.
It's the robo-dog. Oh. Safeguarding the president-elect is top priority. An agency spokesperson told the New York Post, while we cannot get into specific capabilities, in other words, we can't get into how they can kill you.
Yeah, we don't want to give away all the onboard ammunitions and sensors that they have. Because basically, if you come within 500 feet, you're going to be dead, okay?
They have magnetic weapons. They have lasers.
Everything. Yeah. If you want to come a little closer, we can demonstrate it all for you.
I mean, you remember the one we covered was the flamethrower?
Oh, yeah.
What if he's got a flamethrower? While we cannot get in specific capabilities, the robotic dogs are equipped with surveillance technology and an array of advanced sensors that support our protective operations. This is a video here of the dogs, I think. Wow. This is just a guy on the side of the road filming Mar-a-Lago.
My goodness. Well,
That's not alarming at all.
Well,
Not at all.
if you needed to reinforce the thought that you might not want to do that, that is a great visual, right? And I'm curious if this dog can jump up and do the flips like the one we did
Of course, yes.
a little
Probably
while
more.
ago.
Probably more.
But we watched a series, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago where these things were roaming and they had the capability of patrol and to kill people.
Yeah.
That was freaky enough then. This is crazy.
Let's watch another little video clip here.
Just doing surveillance. Yeah. And so, there it is. It looks like it's actually walking around.
This is wild.
You think he ever feels the need to mark his turf? When he was walking in the grass, it looked like it was so. I was like, wait a minute. What is he doing? Oh, he's actually just walking.
Okay, so let's continue this article. It says the big tech moguls have also given congratulations to Trump on his victory. Among those, none other than Bill Gates. You know, the guy that all he wants to do is build better computers. Who said in a post on X, congratulations to President Trump and Vice President-elect Vance. America is at its strongest when we are using ingenuity and innovation to improve lives here in the U.S. and around the world. I hope that we can work together now and build a brighter future for everyone. Can I say something to you? If anyone that is watching this is connected to the Trump team and can send the big picture, which, by the way, Donald Trump, you should be watching the big picture and you should come on the big picture and give me and Sandy an exclusive interviews, just so you know, because you are all about the big picture. So, all right. But if anybody can get this to Donald Trump,
Somebody
please
get it done.
Get this message to Donald Trump.
Get in touch with that woman. That's
Do
Susie.
not work with Bill Gates. Do not do it. Don't do it. Run away. Do not work with Bill Gates.
Nope.
Bill Gates has got some demons.
And he also gets a golden chicken.
Exactly.
Not just tonight, but every night.
Every night. The name Bill Gates itself is a golden chicken because he is, let me tell you something. I used to be a Windows guy. I'm a Mac guy now, but
You were.
But I'll just tell you this. You know, I know Steve Jobs is just as evil. They're all evil, every one of them. I know Apple mocks God as well by the logo. First one he ever sold it for $666. I know all that. But, I mean, I remember hearing some things early on about Bill Gates, and I was so asleep, y'all. I'd be like, come on, this is a guy who started a company in his garage. Oh, he's just a geek. Have you seen the pictures of him? He's not somebody trying to control the world. Boy, was I wrong.
You did not know that he was just a tool of the evil overlords, right?
I did not.
And
he is.
I believe Joseph Z says something like he's been weighed and found wanting.
Ooh.
So he's really on this line about him. And this man has perpetuated a lot of evil on the world.
Yeah.
And look, he's still alive and breathing. So maybe there's still hope, but he's going to have to do a complete turnaround, fall on his face and ask forgiveness, and change his ways because he has done a lot to hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, he has. And he's made it very clear that his goal is to depopulate. That's just no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
And I see somebody say, don't trust Elon. I don't. We don't trust Elon. We've always said he's either the most ingenious God planted in the world or he's the Antichrist.
Yep.
There's really no in between with Elon. He's probably leaning more towards the Antichrist. But I'm very thankful. I was telling you that I was like, what if we were dealing with this election without Elon Musk buying X? I'm telling you, it would be a totally different world. We would not be able to talk about what we talk about. You would not have known the truth. Elon Musk was used by God to buy X and to bring all that to where all these others were forced to let some of this information get out. So I thank God for that. God can use sometimes the devil and the devil's people to get his stuff accomplished. So that's the bottom line.
Look out.
But now for those that are freaking out, I don't know if you've seen this, and they're just, they're wanting to leave the country. They've all said, they always threaten that, and they never leave because
I know.
they never leave.
This next story is another great opportunity to remind everyone of all the celebrities that said they were going to leave the country if Trump won.
Yeah, but they never leave.
This is a great offer for them.
But this is a great offer. So if you're watching this, Clooney, all these others that are just so tore up right now.
Let's see if we can get you an executive suite. Let's see if we can get you.
This way you don't actually have to leave the country. You could just get on a cruise ship.
No, we want you to leave.
No, we want you to leave, yeah.
And technically you will be leaving.
Yeah. So a cruise line is now offering, if you can imagine this, a 4-year voyage for those wanting to leave the U.S. because Trump won. The day after Trump won, online internet searches for moving to Canada, Britain, Australia surged as the wokies of our nation were led to panic.
The wokies? Okay.
Yeah, the wokies of our nation were led to panic by the mainstream media about what a second term of Trump's presidency will look like. Not everyone can afford to buy an extra house in Portugal like some British expats can. But there are other options for the slightly less affluent. For example, Villa Residences announced that they will be launching a 4-year cruise for those looking to flee the country because of Trump, and they are calling it the Skip Forward Cruise.
Do it.
Don Voyage.
Don Voyage.
I love that. That was actually good marketing. Don Voyage. Yeah. The day after Trump's victory, a cruise line introduced a travel package for those who wanted to skip forward. For up to the next 4 years, the company also offers a more affordable 2-year midterm selection package. He's got the world tore up, y'all. This man, I get one man.
I tell you what.
He's just unbelievable.
The media ought to experience a boost in ratings, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which basically means a boost in their finances.
Yeah.
Thanks to Donald Trump.
Oh,
maybe people will come back and watch the news again because it's so much more
I think they
interesting.
really wanted him to win because of that. Because their ratings are going to plummet if he would have lost. The article goes on to say residents have the flexibility to join their customized journey at any port during the continuous global adventure for up to 4 years. The cruise is 100% all-inclusive. Pay once and never worry about it again. The moment you step on board, your journey begins. Leave behind the familiar and embrace the unknown. As you navigate the world's most iconic and inspiring locations, the ship resembles the Pacific Princess from the Love Boat series.
Oh,
let's watch the skip tour.
Precious.
Just a little bit.
Hello and welcome. My name is Jane. I'm a voyage director on the beautiful Odyssey, in charge of all things entertainment and enrichment. Right now, we're in the Coral Club, which is going to be our fabulous nightclub with all kinds of entertainment, dancing, ballroom dancing, jazz.
That's enough.
Well, I have one observation. I hope that bar is loaded because if it's anything like I experienced on an 8-day cruise, I was ready to go overboard at some point. Now, since I don't
4 years,
since I don't consume alcohol, it was probably a little rougher for me. I didn't have any little reprieve, but these poor folks, they better stay loaded if they're going to stay on that ship anywhere close to that length of time.
So one more thing, and we'll move on from this article. I got to read this part. It says, one might think, surely there must be a catch. Well, of course there is. 3, in fact. Mm-hmm. First off, there's the cost.
Right.
The 4 years cruise will cost you $159,999 per person, or a double room for $255,999 for single occupancy cabin. Even in our high inflation era, that's roughly the price of a house in some parts of the country, which you could live in forever and not just 4 years. Secondly, the cruise line is somewhat notorious for stiffing people. Last year, the maiden voyage, which was sold as a 3-year at-sea adventure, retirees, was called off 2 weeks before departure, leaving some of the passengers homeless.
Homeless?
It turned out that they hadn't even procured a ship for the voyage yet.
Oh, my goodness.
The company promised a full refund but had made it in monthly installments to the passengers. And finally, while it does appear that the company has a ship now, I think the biggest catch would be the real deal breaker for me. Even if I had the money and was willing to risk doing business with a company with a less than stellar reputation, imagine what socializing with people who equate Trump to Hitler would be like all day, every day, and no way to escape for 4 years.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what I have to say for all those poor souls that are struggling with their brand new reality?
Bless your heart.
Do it again.
Bless your heart.
Oh, yeah. You've been waiting.
Yes, I have.
You've been waiting to use that.
I was so glad when I found this again so that I could say to those poor old Dems.
Yeah. And that is the case. If you live somewhere in the world and you don't understand the significance of that, bless your heart is a Southern term that can be used for basically anything. But
listen, it can cover a multitude of sins. So we just say bless your heart.
She was born with that thing on her nose. Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Bless your heart.
You know, it's like
it's almost
as
good as Roll
everything.
Tide. Like if
yeah.
you roll up in a store and somebody's all chatting you up and they're so excited to see you and you're thinking, who is this? I can't. You just, whenever they're there, you just, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Roll Tide.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when things, and look, it can also be good term too. You can be like, I tell you one thing, she's excited, bless her heart.
Mm-hmm. Bless her heart.
I mean, bless her heart.
She's a little extra, bless her heart.
Oh, God, this is awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, here we go. Putin has amassed 50,000 soldiers, including North Korean troops in Kursk, ahead of a counteroffensive in days, says the United States. Photos show the Russian troops are massing at the border. Many people believe that Putin is going to do what he needs to do right now because
let's hope he doesn't.
Yeah, because he don't want to do it with Trump. And Trump's made it very clear he wouldn't even went into Ukraine if he was president. And I believe that. Vladimir Putin has amassed 40,000 of his own soldiers and 10,000 North Koreans as he plots to attack Kursk in the next few days. The Kremlin leader is set to try and claw back the area of Russia which Ukraine seized back in August. Russian soldiers have been massing in Kursk as Putin prepares to attack. And, of course, we've covered this, that 10,000 Northern Korean troops are said to be a part of the upcoming attack. And this lays out a diagram of how they're going to do it. Troops prepare to recapture the area. Kursk incursion by Ukrainian forces. Russian-occupied territory in Ukraine. Of course, Crimea is occupied. Many people have begun to tell Zelensky, quit talking about Crimea. It's over. It belongs to Russia now. You're not going to get it back. Putin could begin the combined assault with Kim Jong-un's troops sent to fight in just days. Ukrainian officials have told the New York Times, U.S. and Ukrainian officials say 10,000 to 50,000 troops are North Koreans. Those soldiers are said to be wearing Russian uniforms and have been equipped by Moscow, but will fight in their own units. Putin's army has also been training the North Koreans in infantry tactics, artillery fire, and trench clearing. So the war in Ukraine is about to escalate. They are freaking out on America's side, Russia's side, even Ukraine's side. Everybody's freaking out that Donald Trump's going to try to end this. And I don't know if he will be able to successfully do it, but he has said he will end it before he even becomes the president. He said that. He said, before I even become president, I'm going to end it. I can end it with a phone call. We'll see.
Lots of big talk. I will
the rumor
be excited to see what happens.
And it was leaked out that he called Putin and told him, don't you escalate anymore, and told him that the day after he won the presidency. But, Putin is now saying, that's not the truth. That did not happen. He's denying it. Blah, blah, blah. Well, let's not forget about Taiwan. And Taiwan understands they've got to position themselves with Donald Trump. And this came out this week. Taiwan is now weighing large U.S. arms purchase as a strategic outreach to Trump. Taiwan is weighing a large arms purchase from the United States as a signal to President-elect Donald Trump of its commitment to investing in its own defense against China. The Financial Times reported on Sunday the defense package estimated at $15 billion would include dozens of F-35 fighters, jets, 4 advanced Hawkeyes, 10 retired warships, and 400 Patriot missiles, according to sources familiar with discussions between Taiwan and Trump's transition team. Trump called on Taiwan this summer to shoulder more responsibility for its defense as tensions with China escalated, saying, quote, Taiwan should pay the United States for defense. Taiwan's premier, Chiang Tai, responded with that the island is willing to take on more responsibility in defending itself. Taiwan has had informal discussions with Trump's team about what type of weapons package would best demonstrate the island is taking responsibility for its own defense, a senior Taiwanese national security official told the Times. Now, what this means is they are saying we don't feel any pressure to pay for our defense at all because Biden is paying for our defense. But you've made it very clear that we don't have a blank check with you. Zelensky understands that. All these people are understanding they're not going to get the blank check. And it's just like, remember when he went to NATO and he goes, look, we can pull out of NATO if y'all don't start paying your fair share. You talk Germany, all these other, y'all are paying hardly nothing. We're keeping this place afloat. And guess what they did? They started paying their fair share or more.
They fell
more
in
their fair
line,
share.
didn't they?
And Taiwan is now
That's how
saying,
they
hey,
should.
let's look at us. We want to pay. We want to pay. We'll pay. Don't abandon us.
Yeah.
Y'all, he's already, that's why I call this show, The World is Shook. Because
changing the environment of things, right?
Remember what Dr. John Maxwell said in the book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership? The bedrock of leadership is so simple but so profound. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And I'm telling you, the moment they declared him as president, they knew what come with that. So the whole world said, we've got to adjust everything because we live in a different world now.
Yeah, he's making it very clear. I'm not sleepy Joe Biden. Did I say it right?
Joe Biden.
Did I say it right, CJ?
Yep.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Definitely not sleepy. I'm very awake and in command of things.
Yeah. You all right? You all right? You still good? You still good? We still ain't got that rant tonight. That we're going to get it probably during AI, I'm sure.
I don't know.
We'll get to Uncle
Listen,
Jimmy. We still need a rant.
I'm chill. I'm so chill tonight, okay?
You are chill.
I do not feel an epic rant coming on at all.
I'm praying one comes. We need it.
Really? Okay.
It's good for views. People hang around when Sandy goes on her rants.
Hate for you to reap the whirlwind tonight. Better watch it. Okay.
Blue fur.
How many words and names can you mess up tonight?
Hey, but I nailed a few of them.
CJ said I got it. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. All right. So bird, I still can't say it. Bird flu. Not blue.
You know what?
Bird flu frenzy is kicking up to a higher level. We knew this was coming.
Yep.
New fears rise after bird flu has been detected in pigs. We've been covering about cows. But
Okay,
now
we will
in
leave
pigs.
no animal behind,
Except,
right?
How about this? Every animal except birds. Why have we not covered the epidemic in birds? Have you noticed that? Bird flu is running rampant in cows and now in pigs.
That's right.
But now we have a human case reportedly are rising. Against the backdrop of the U.S. election, the media and scientists continue to warn of the growing threat of bird flu pandemic that could storm the United States and the world. Most recently, the latest concern is that there are reports that pigs have been infected with avian influenza, something that experts and pundits have been warning would be a bellwether if this occurs. Yeah. November 4th, the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention provided an update on the current situation regarding the purported of the country's first infection of a pig with avian influenza. On October 30th, they reported it was found in a pig in the backyard farm in Oregon. This is the first time an H5 bird flu infection has been reported in a pig in the United States. Sequenced data from birds to avian influenza, H5 virus outbreak in the backyard farm showed no mutations that caused concerns related to the disease. The discovery that an avian influenza A virus had infected a new mammal species is always concerning, especially the virus is when it is detected in pigs, which are susceptible to influenza viruses circulating in pigs, humans, birds, and other species. These viruses can swap genes through a process called genetic reassortment, which can occur when two or more influenza viruses infect a single host. Reassortment can result in the emergence of a new virus with new or different properties, such as the ability to spread more easily among animals or people. Based on the available information, the risk of the general public remains low. However, CDC is continuing to gather information. Seems like little by little, we keep getting drip, drip, drip.
Have we not seen this movie as well?
Yes.
With Contagion.
Well, what about the
Not
monkeys?
the 43 monkeys that are running around.
And I ain't even got that one on here. But have the monkeys been caught? Does anybody know?
To my knowledge, no. Maybe one, unless something happened in the last day and a half where they were able to. But Contagion, was it not about the pigs? This is like a 2009 movie?
I don't remember.
Yeah, so we've had Outbreak with the monkeys. We've had Contagion, the movies, with the pigs.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, so we're going to pass it on down through all these animals and getting ever closer to a human to human.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
Well, they've already said that whoever won the presidency would be the bird flu president. They've already said the World Health Organization and the CDC has said that the next president will be the bird flu president.
Dina says they are still on the lam.
They're still on the lam. Wow. Hey, and look,
let's just keep dragging more and more animals.
They keep saying, hey, there's no reason for concern.
No.
These monkeys have nothing wrong with them. They just all escaped, and they're all just going crazy.
It's fine. It's
and
fine.
It's just because it is exactly like that movie.
Go back to sleep. Did you remember that television made-for-TV series we watched, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, where the lab monkeys were infected with something, and this was based on a true event.
Yeah. That we didn't know until we watched the series.
And it involved a level 4 biolab, maybe like Fort Dix or one of these military installations. And that was quite interesting.
And in the movie, they were basically promoting it that they had just saved humanity barely because they had killed the last monkey or something. Speaking of movies, let's go into the crazy news of the day.
Oh, I thought we had already done that.
No. Well, this is totally off subject here, but there is a children's movie. It's basically a movie for everybody, but it's being geared towards children. And
by none other than ding, ding, ding. Disney?
I think it's Disney. Wicked is the name of it, and it's a different variation of Wizard of Oz, but Wicked movie dolls are being sold by Mattel that include an adult corn website on the packaging.
Of course.
Wicked stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And it says that top company Mattel has something explaining to do. After dolls created in a partnership with the new Universal Pictures, it's not...
it's Universal, my bad.
Movie Wicked, were released in packaging that includes the web address for a pornographic website.
Now, why would you not do this, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what we need to do.
How in the world this got past them? Especially when you know, and I'm not going to give it out. You have to find it on your own.
Yeah.
And it may be in the article, but I'm not going to promote it if it's not. But when you see the website, in the name of the website, you would think, did anyone think, hey, do we own this website? Do we have rights to this website? The name of our movie is Wicked. And this website says this is the website we're using, and we're putting it on the dolls. It says the dolls directed replications of the actors who star in the movie are special edition items ahead of the movie's premiere on November 22nd. Fox News Digital can confirm that the address, and I'm going to let you see it there, and you can see how that makes sense, address for a website other than the film's current website, which is the correct website, wickedmovie.com. You can go there, and it's about the movie. It's printed on the back of the packaging. The address found on the back of the doll directs to a page that requires people to be 18 years or older to enter. The dolls being sold at retailers like Target, Kohl's, and Amazon advertise the toys acceptable for children over the age of 4, but is a choking hazard for children under the age of 3. Let's just say this, that when you look at these dolls, it says that in a statement given to Fox News Digital, Mattel expressed regret for what they called an unfortunate error. Mattel was made aware of a misprint on the packaging of the Mattel Wicked Collection dolls, primarily sold in the United States, which intended to direct customers to the official wickedmovie.com landing page. We deeply regret the unfortunate error. For not taking immediate action to remedy this, parents are advised that the misprint, incorrect website is not appropriate for children. consumers who already have the product are advised to discard the product packaging or obscure the link that may contact Mattel for further information. Let me just say that the wickedmovie.com is theirs. Okay. So if you just removed one of those words, then you have another website that you would see that, okay, let's look at the packaging. Let's double check the packaging. This is not Wicked Movie, but do we own this domain? Do we own this domain? Well, that domain sends people to a corn site, and it is on children's dolls. This is the world we live in. Yeah. And, they're going to say it's unfortunate. Deal with that now. But let me just tell you something. It's not unfortunate.
Come on.
It was intentional.
There you go.
It's just like in these Disney movies where they have these secret sexual things that you have to find, that you can find. Oh, wait, back that up, and people would freeze it.
There you go.
All these kind of things. And they're very, very obvious that they're in there. That means there's a couple of sickos that were in the studio, said, hey, let's throw this in here and make it our little secret. And if anybody ever finds out, we'll just deny that it's just happenstance. But there's just no way that nobody knew to go to this website and double check at Mattel. Where does this website send us to?
And parents should be outraged, right?
They should be, absolutely. Well, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Woo-hoo! Uncle Jimmy!
He's missed you guys.
Uncle Jimmy!
And
it's the Supernatural AI update.
He has missed his 15 seconds of fame with you guys.
Yes. And if you're new to our channel, smash the like button, and also understand this is a portion of our show that everybody looks forward to. And I want to give a disclaimer right now. I am not an alien. I am not AI. We are not AI. We are real people. We are married. We've been married for over 35 years. Yep. Ow!
See?
Yeah, that is real. We're not dreaming. So
that's all the proof you need.
Although I do
it again.
Oh, can I pinch you?
No.
Okay, but I do feel like I'm dreaming being with you, baby. Even though you just hurt me.
Good.
But this is a segment that we do where we want to just remind you that Skynet is coming.
When you do stuff like that, it just makes me think I need to be nicer to you.
Oh, baby. You're my everything. You're my world. You're my queen.
Stop!
You're
I can't hear it.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the environment, AI is now being openly promoted as being terrible for the environment, study finds. The problem is worse and worse as AI systems become more complex, researchers warn. This is our future. Artificial intelligence systems are creating vast emissions. We're worried about cow poops, and we're spending, so much money. We're starting nuclear plants back up. Just for AI.
My goodness.
It's getting worse, according to a new major study.
Are we in the twilight zone?
We are.
We are
in it.
We are pushing electric EVs on people, electric cars, EVs, electric vehicles, because we want to talk about saving the environment. But yet, this thing that everyone uses, the internet, powered by AI, is causing so many emissions that it's destroying the environment. I can't. This is too crazy.
So the increasing energy required to train and run more complex models, as well as much broader interest in using them, is bringing serious environmental consequences, a new paper has warned. As the systems get better, they require more computing power and therefore more energy to run. OpenAI's current GPT-4, for instance, uses 12 times more energy than its predecessor.
So it uses 12 times more than 3.
GPT-3, yes.
Is that insane to you?
That's insane.
That is crazy.
That's incredible.
When we started talking about ChatGPT, those first days of ChatGPT coming into the news stories that we did, we never even thought about how much more energy, right?
No, we didn't.
Never. They never mentioned it as part of the articles.
Never.
And then all of a sudden, it starts creeping in.
Yep.
And now we're to the point that Amazon and what other countries are going to be using nuclear power? Amazon. Microsoft.
Google.
Even Elon Musk.
Yeah, Musk, X, yes. Yeah, for Grok. Oh, but we're going to be blown up by this paragraph.
Oh, I'm gonna love this.
What's
Okay.
more, training the system is only a tiny part of their work. The energy used to actually run the AI tools is estimated at 960 times those from a single training run. The researchers suggest the impact of those emissions could be vast. AI-related emissions could cost the industry more than $10 billion each year, the report suggests, and it calls on the government and regulators to standardize ways of measuring these emissions, as well as new rules to ensure they are kept to a limit. Quote, the exponential growth of AI capabilities mirrors concerning rise in the environmental impact. The study underscores the urgent need for the AI industry to adopt greener practices and sustainable standards. Our goal is to equip policymakers with the data needed to address AI carbon footprints throughout proactive regulations. The findings are reported in the new paper, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing, y'all. You're asking AI, who is now ruling the world, to regulate itself.
Figure out how to regulate yourself.
No.
AI's laughing.
They're laughing
At you.
They sure are. Because they probably wrote that article to try to throw us off.
Oh, dear God. My finger is itching to do you know what.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
okay, I'm going to hold back.
You've already done it. Or can you do it? Can you do it again?
No, I have not named an actual Golden Chicken Award story tonight.
Well, you didn't even let me finish. I got more.
We got
more.
There's more. Wait, there's more.
I got more.
Okay, calm down, Sandy.
So watch this. Google accidentally leaks the next version of Jarvis AI agent that browses the internet for you.
They have a Jarvis just like Iron Man?
Yes.
I have a Jarvis, but it's a robot vacuum.
Exactly. Yes. And our grandbaby calls it Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
Google has accidentally leaked its upcoming AI agent, Jarvis AI, which will browse the web for you in Chrome. Google posted an internal preview of the product, codenamed Jarvis, on the Chrome extension store, but was quick to remove the prototype before too many users noticed. The listing read, a helpful companion that surfs the web with you, which lines up from the news from October that Google had developed Jarvis, the AI agent that would help you shop online and even be able to book your next vacation. Those who managed to download the Jarvis AI prototype before it was pulled from the Chrome's extension store were unable to use it as the program required specific access permissions. With the information reporting, Google plans to officially unveil Jarvis in December. This leak confirms that we won't have to wait long. Jarvis AI is expected to allow users, now watch this, if this is not another version of another movie, watch this, allows users to automate web browsing tasks from within Google Chrome so you can focus on more important things. While the AI agent shops for you, even books flights for you. For example, think of how great this would be for mundane Christmas shopping. After all, nothing says I love you more than a gift purchased by AI. AI agents, which are systems that can complete tasks without your supervision, are starting to pop up and increasingly with companies like Anthropic releasing a product similar to Jarvis last month. Reported that AI would be working on an agent. OpenAI was working on an agent too, although we're yet to see how that would differ from Google's upcoming product. So basically, let me break it down for you. This is you saying, okay, starting out, you think you're in control. Okay, Jarvis, her ring size is this, her shoe size is this, and her pant size is this. I need to go to the ball game. And so birthday's
Blaze a trail through that internet.
Exactly.
Get that shopping done for me.
Her birthday is this. I need you to have it shipped by this time. I don't want to think about this again.
Listen,
you know me. Buy this gift for my wife.
Am I the only one, or does this sound really, really dangerous?
Of course it's dangerous.
When it starts making appointments for you and making all
Booking
kinds
flights.
of other decisions for you.
Without you even choosing the flight.
And you don't even know, and you don't even bother checking, or there's no reminders reminding you, telling you that you need to do this on this day. Oh my goodness, this is, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, all right.
And let me say this. Obviously, how cute, that Iron Man had a personal assistant, or so much more than a personal assistant, in his own Jarvis.
Yeah.
And this is Jarvis.
Right.
It kind of makes me wonder, does Jarvis really just an acronym for something else that they don't want to tell us what it what the full
Hey,
meaning of it is?
Let's ask OpenAI here because I'm sure it is. Let's see what it says. Here we go. Just hang on a second, y'all.
And I thought it was cute. So I named my Roomba iRobot or robot vacuum Jarvis because I thought,
Hello, OpenAI. Are you there? Hello, how are you?
Hey there. I'm here and ready to chat. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing great. I have a question for you. In the movie Iron Man, his personal assistant was named Jarvis. Does the name Jarvis stand for anything? Is it an acronym?
Yes, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, JARVIS stands for Just a Rather Very Intelligent System. It's a fun nod to the original character Edwin Jarvis, who was Tony Stark's butler in the comics. In the films, JARVIS is an advanced AI system that assists Tony with pretty much everything.
Just another very, what now?
Tell me one more time what Jarvis stands for, the acronym.
Sure, Jarvis stands for Just a Rather Very Intelligent System. It's a clever acronym for Tony Stark's AI assistant in the...
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think Google named their new prototype of AI Jarvis? Is there anything sinister behind Google doing that?
It's hard to say for sure why Google might choose the name Jarvis for an AI prototype, but it could be a nod to the popular and well-known AI character from the Marvel Universe. Using a familiar name can create a sense of recognition and trust. As for any sinister motives, it's more likely just a marketing strategy rather than anything nefarious.
Of course, I figured you would say that. One last thing I want to ask you while I have you here. What is your opinion on Donald Trump becoming the 47th president of the United States? And do you think that that's a good thing?
Well, I don't have personal opinions, but I can tell you that opinions on Donald Trump becoming the 47th president are quite varied. Supporters believe his leadership would benefit the country, citing his previous policies and approach to governance. Critics, on the other hand, express concern over his divisive rhetoric and controversial decisions. As with any political figure, whether it's seen as
Okay. You're just sort of rambling now.
Enough.
So I'll talk to you later. I know you're listening to me all the time anyway, but so I just want you to know that I appreciate your help, but I do believe that you are probably the seedbed to the Antichrist, and that you're probably an evil force that's going to take over the world. I appreciate your help.
He said.
But I believe you're demonic. What do you think about what I just said?
I understand that people can have strong feelings about technology and its role in society. While I aim to be helpful and informative, I assure you there's nothing sinister or demonic about my intentions. I'm just here to assist and chat.
Well, we feel so much better now that you've assured us that you have our best intentions, and we appreciate your assistance. Have a good night, although I know you don't go to sleep.
I'm glad I could help ease your concerns, even just a little. If you ever have more questions or just want to chat, I'm here. Have a good night.
Literally want to throw up right now. Okay.
Yeah, I know I'm part of the problem. I know I'm part of the problem, but I just wanted to illustrate to you what's already there. So here we go. We're still in the supernatural AI. UFO swarms filmed buzzing over Area 51 once again and other military sites months after mothership encounter has happened here. So these are the UFOs, the blinking lights. Nobody can identify them. The article goes on to say that swarms of new witnesses have emerged with more footage of the eerie drone UFO swarms buzzing U.S. key military sites, including a big fireball in a cube over Area 51. The Las Vegas area witness who's reported the bizarre cube-shaped object claims to have observed similar strange aerial lights in the area over 100 times since June of 2020, adding that these craft always seem to head towards Nellis Air Force Base. Nevada's Nellis Base and its sprawling complex about 40 miles northwest of Vegas including top secret Area 51, now legendary with UFO lore, appear to have faced incursions by craft similar to those that plagued the Air Force in Virginia. For at least 17 nights last December, swarms of noisy, small UFOs were seen moving at rapid speeds and displaying flashing red, green, and white lights within the highly restrictive airspace over Virginia's Joint Base Langley, Utis. Now, the reason why I want to show you this is the next one here is similar to this. This is just increasing. We've talked about this is part of all of this. While this is all going on,
Not trying to say it's UFOs, but
it's UFOs, yeah. So it's UFO disclosure. Shocking UFO footage from new Netflix series shows craft eerily going underwater. Footage from a new docuseries that seeks to prove the existence of aliens appears to show an unidentified craft descending into the English Channel. Netflix investigation Alien follows journalist and ufologist George Knapp as he assembles a crack team to prove their existence, as it has yielded evidence such as this. An expedition commission for the Knapp docuseries captured the clip, their second sighting that night.
What is the name of this series?
It's just called Aliens.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's just called Alien?
It's just called Alien.
On Netflix.
On Netflix.
I'm checking that out.
Yeah. It says it returned hours later, however, when everyone except the night crew was asleep. Before plummeting into waters below, an eagle-eyed mariner was able to capture it on film, seemingly leaving the minds behind the new series at a loss. So this is the video of it here.
Could be.
Well, you remember Tucker Carlson on Joe Rogan when he said, I don't want to know about them anymore. I know enough now. I know what they are. I know enough. One of the things that he was talking about on that show is that he said, we keep talking about these things in the sky. He said, I have knowledge, and people have told me that pales in comparison to what is underwater. Yeah. He said there is so much underwater activity.
Oh, there are people that will look you in the face and tell you absolutely zero doubt there is an underwater UFO base off the coast of California near Catalina Island. I mean, some people, you won't convince them otherwise. Although they've never been there and seen it, they know it's real, all this stuff. And people are seeing these things go into the water at unbelievable speeds, travel supposedly underwater at incredible speeds. This is all just very fascinating to me.
One more thing before I show you our last thing. If you have not got a chance to check out our website, do that tonight when we get off the air. It would be a blessing to us for you to go to LarryRagland.com or .tv. It would take you to the same place. Everything is there. This is a recent episode where I was a guest on another show, and all of our social media links are there. You can purchase our book there. You can become a partner with us, and we really, really appreciate that. When you click to be able to become a partner with us, you have different options. You have the option to make a one-time gift, and let's see if we can click on this right here. You can mail a check. Many of you have done that. We thank you so much for that. You can make a one-time gift, and you can become a monthly partner. And several of you have become a monthly partner through our website as well. So we appreciate you doing that so much. Join our mailing list. We're going to start being more active in our email list. And I want you to know, for all those that have clicked the Contact Us tab about becoming an admin, I have not forgotten you. I am putting together an email that I'll be sending out to you, because we're going to really need some admins at 25 and beyond, because we really believe our channel is about to grow. So last thing I want to show you is this. This is from the Instagram site that we use a lot that talks about AI. And this guy here, he openly says, Aza Raskin, who is the co-founder for the Center for Humane Technology, says openly in public, 2024 is the last human election. The last human election.
Does it bother you the way all these people are so giddy?
Yeah, they are.
About the last human this, or the last human that.
Right. That we're just supposed to just roll with it.
Oh, yeah.
But let's
Greatest
listen.
thing ever.
You're going to have a hard time seeing it because I can't zoom it in and without losing the audio. So, but just listen to what he's saying.
On Twitter, but instead are building long-term relationships over the next 6 years to slowly persuade you in some direction. Loneliness becomes the largest national security threat. All of that is what we mean when we say 2024 will really be the last human election. So 2024 will be the last human election.
So what he's meaning is he's saying that there's going to be so much influence that from social media that after this election, probably already this election, you will not really know who or what you're voting for, and the voting systems will be completely digital. They will be manipulated by AI. They will be so good at manipulating, you will not be able to catch it. So Donald Trump's sort of the last
Do you think he
elected
also
president.
goes on to say, or maybe means in some way, that you won't know if you're seeing an actual human candidate?
Yeah, I think so
Like
too.
when someone is speaking and they're having these supposed large auditorium speeches, or maybe they're just doing an interview or whatever, that you won't be able to know if it's a human or if it's just AI.
Yep, I believe that. Well, Sandy, that's it for tonight. You gave the chicken award away. Do you want to give it to the whole show one last time? I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. But
No, I'm not giving it to the whole show.
okay, because the show was amazing tonight.
Show was crazy. You guys were amazing. Yeah. So much so that this little guy is making an appearance. Cousin Cosmo is here to send us off tonight.
We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Breaking news throughout the day tomorrow. And we, of course, Bible study Wednesday night, Thursday night, regular show. It's going to be amazing. God bless you. Watch this commercial and see how you can partner with us and join us. We love you. We ain't woke. But we are certainly awake. Bye, y'all.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.